Hello and welcome to CrosB2B Tech 360. I'm your host, Mike Crosby, B2B analyst for NPD. This is a continuing podcast series providing tech trends, insights, and really quite a few opinions surrounding all things business to business. In today's podcast, we're going to be speaking about B2B tech future growth forecast, and specifically taking a closer look at projected spend for both 2022 and 2023, along with where we believe the majority of growth will be generated. So buckle up and we can get started. To set the stage, we should first look at current business conditions now that are relating to the current state of the recovery. In 2021, we did see a welcome recovery, and if you look at it from a sector vertical standpoint, 18 out of the 20 sectors actually saw growth on a year-over-year basis. However, the collective state's still fairly fragile, and we're still seeing a lot of the pandemic conditions rear, and it still remains a pretty fluid situation. Critical to ongoing momentum in 22 is going to be the need for improved predictability and certainly more stability in both the U.S. and China, needing really to allow the supply chain and factory production to further normalize. If these conditions continue to worsen, or potentially worsen in China specifically, key ports and factories could be subject to zero tolerance protocols that are currently in place and could actually impact the speed and strength of the broader recovery. So it's something that we're going to watch very closely. According to NPD's new Future of B2B Tech forecast, increased IT investments expected in the year, with the majority of growth really driven by mid-sized and enterprise organizations. Primary focus is going to be to continue to expand on a lot of the digital transformation efforts that were started really early in 2019, but they definitely have morphed into more strategic rather than the simple form of moving from a physical to a digital. And it's really going to continue also be driven by quite a bit of requirements continuing and ongoing for the remote workforce they're currently supporting. Small business is going to be interesting. It's going to be probably much more moderate, and we're going to see a lot of prioritization around critical hardware and software really until the business conditions stabilize a little bit more for small business. 2022 is going to bring a level of volume normalization to a lot of categories that were really pretty significant drivers in 2020 and in 2021, including Chromebook, notebook, and most of the work from home categories that we saw really do well. As vaccination and on-premise learning efforts continue to expand within education, 2022, I think, is going to bring a little bit of a pause relative to unit volume, and we're going to see Chromebook unit growth really normalize much more in line with what we had seen previously outside of typical refresh that's going to be planned over kind of a 5-year period. We're also going to see software and cloud infrastructure categories really continue to be the drivers of that IT-based economy. There's a lot of investment, a lot of accelerated growth that's coming in those two areas, and it's specifically going to be driven by mid-sized and large companies continuing on with these digital transformation efforts that they started, but again, much more focused now and expanded investment regarding remote workforce security, continuity, and in general, overall productivity. NPD's forecast to return to growth in 23 as pandemic conditions and expecting supply chain capacity are both looking to improve. Education will return likely to more modest growth as administrators have now had a better understanding of really what technology role is being played in this new hybrid learning model. Software and cloud will continue as we're anticipating, and we're still seeing a very strong growth trajectory based on this general DX initiative maturity and expansion. We're seeing that continuing on. We'll also look at seeing work from home is also expected to see growth as tech refresh will include upgrade devices that enhance overall productivity through improvements in technology rather than basically just a simple device replacement. So all in all, we're going to see a little bit of a normalization in 2022, but then we'll likely return back to a more positive growth and more traditional growth rate, anywhere between that 3% and 5% overall. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed the most recent podcast. Any questions or comments? Love to hear from you. Look forward to talking to you on our next podcast. Thank you very much.